Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me back here in the basement of Oval Window Garage. Yeah. Simon, he's been hibernating in the basement. Luckily, he had a walkout basement with the large double doors there, and he squeezed in. But yeah, that's where he's been spending the winter. That's why you haven't seen him up there with Hubert. Hubert's been undergoing a lot of surgery this winter, and hopefully we'll get some stuff done with him, and then this spring we'll move Simon back up there and we'll start working on him. But today we got a box on opening, but I couldn't wait. I already opened it. This year's a box that I got from DIY Auto Tunes. It's going to basically be Simon's graduation from college. Years I joked around about needing money for Simon's college fund. Well, he's about to get smarter. One of the things, if you've been following the channel along, you know that I run a MS2 in Simon, which is a Megasquirt 2 with extras. And all these years, I knew that DIY Auto-Tune had an MS3. What I didn't realize was with the MS3, I could upgrade the MS2. I always thought you had to go out and buy the whole kit and start from scratch, but no. The MS1 and MS2 are upgradable to the MS3. As far as I know, there's not a whole lot of videos out there on YouTube land, and I'm going to download this one and hopefully don't screw anybody up. What we have here are the components to upgrade my MS2 to an MS3. And I'll go through the box here and then go through the procedure on how to do it. From what I understand, it's pretty much just a plug and play deal. But what I do lack on is the knowledge of the whole computer thing here. That's always kind of confusing to me, and hopefully I don't mess anything up. But from what I'm reading in DIY and Megasquirt, I'm not really sure who puts it out, but there is a catalog or an instruction book online for all this stuff. And to me, like I said, I'm not all that knowledgeable on the software, and it sometimes can be confusing, but I managed to work through it, and DIY is pretty helpful too. Emailing, they'll answer majority of all your questions, like, hey, what's it take to upgrade my MS2? So yeah, let's go through this box here and see what kind of goodies I got. Since I've already opened it, I don't need a knife. But the first thing is this pretty box here. This is the motherboard, or not the motherboard actually, it's the daughter board for the MS3. In this, we'll open it up. Like I said, I didn't need a knife. I lied. Got a knife. I will say, it comes in a pretty box. It does open up and it's protected. But yeah, here we are. This is the daughter board. Yeah, what it'll do is pretty much just plug in with this thing here. And since I've already got this pin, I think I gotta take this pin off, because this pin's already soldered to my Megasquirt board already. Well, I guess that would probably be the motherboard. But if you were going to build your own, you know, if you were already starting out from scratch to build an MS3, you would have to solder that onto the board. I'm assuming this is just extras, probably some hardware that would go with the board that if you were building again. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out where the tape line is. There we go. And again, it's another one of those sockets. I won't know until I open up my computer to see if I need any of these. And there's some more screws and nuts and bolts to hold the plug on. Yeah, let's put this here in a safe spot. Put that down there. But what this board will enable me to do, I'll do a little reading here. Is going to help increase the, a VE and ignition tables. It's going to expand them to a 16 by 16 table when you're looking at your computer. But that's going to actually give you more tunability throughout the RPM and map table. You get more points to add data and stuff to help fine tune. It's also going to include, and I think you can see this right on here, for this SD card. Now the SD card is going to be nice because it will allow for data logging without having a laptop hooked up to the computer. Right now I have to have either my laptop or my tablet paired into the computer so I can data log, and then you have to remember to actually push the button to say data log, which if you guys remember my race from last year, I think I got 1 data log after 4 runs because I get too nervous and excited when I'm up there staging to forget to remember to tell, hey, data log, so we can get some information. It is very helpful to know where you're at. The other thing it's going to include is the, what do they call this thing here? Built-in USB port. So it must be, it looks like a mini USB port. It don't look like a USB port. Yeah, but I have a built-in USB port, which I probably, I don't use the USB port. I haven't really actually physically plugged the computer into in a long time. I use Bluetooth because I have a Bluetooth adapter right now. It says something about cannabis communication interface with a GPIO board, an IO extender, or other devices, and native support for many different OEM trigger patterns. So they must have more trigger patterns in there for different types of applications. And this will have the capability to add other things like an expansion card, which I did. A DIY recommended the expander card, and that's what I got here was the MS3 expander card. Expander card is going to allow me to do things like 8-channel sequential fuel control, 8-channel sequential ignition control. I don't know how much I'm gonna be in there. Oh, we'll bounce back to this. This here is supposed to have a built-in GM stepper for IAC control, which is another thing I think you guys have probably heard me talk about, that I've used the MS2 capability to operate my 2-step or launch control. That was would have been used to hook my stepper motor to, and then what the stepper motor is the idle control motor. And with the idle control motor, its purpose is like, it's a little motor in there that opens and closes and allows more air to come in, like you were actuating the throttle or pressing on the throttle. And right now, when I start signing up, like especially if I was to start up right now, I would have to sit there and ease in and nurse him until he got warmed up and would sit and idle on his own by pushing the accelerator pedal. Well, I'm happy to finally, I am excited to finally have the idle control valve capability. I have a throttle body on Simon that uses, it's actually off a GM, so it uses a GM stepper. And I haven't had it hooked up because, like I just explained, I don't have the means to operate it, but now I will. So I'm kind of excited about that. Now back to the expander board. There's lots extra things. One of the other things I want to do is have the ability to collect data like on fuel pressure. Fuel pressure is going to be very important, especially when I go to run E85. I want to make sure that I have enough fuel to fuel the engine and not cause a lean situation. And with the E85, the possibility and chances of going lean are greater than if I was running regular pump gas. You can use a 2-stage nitrous controller with this expansion board. I don't run nitrous, and I don't think I ever will. Table switching for multi-fuel engines. It would be a bonus to be able to do that. It means, like I said, once I get tuned for E85, I could fill Simon up with whatever type of fuel I'd want, and the computer would bounce back and forth depending on whether it was reading the ethanol or not. But I won't be able to do that until I invest in a fuel reading. What do they call those things? Oh, I can't remember what they call it. They have one of those little devices that actually reads the ethanol value of the fuel and lets the computer know whether or not you're running like 90 E90 or actually pump gas is like E15 or E10. Yeah, that's a whole other board or sensor, Yeah, I think it's one of my flex fuel sensor. Hey, I got it. Yeah, you have to have a flex fuel sensor, and that's what that would work with this. And then this would work with the ECU, telling what the ethanol value of your fuel is. But I don't have plans to get that right now. Maybe that'd be a future purchase for next year. You know, another winter project when Simon's hibernating. Two-step launch control. Well, I've already got that, but yeah, an expander board would probably be able to have the two-step launch control in there. I don't need that. And much, much more. All right, let's see what this looks like. All right, one thing this does come with is, like I said, the plug-in thing that plugs in someplace. It's going to plug in on the box someplace. And this is, like I said, a build your own. That's actually goes with the expander board here. Everything is taped well. And before we go tearing everything all up, let's get the knife out again. More tape. Probably mentioned this in a previous video, but the nice thing about Megasquirt is you can build this all yourself, and it's not based on their components. Like when I put Simon together, I run several different types of things. Like I've got the coils and the throttle body off GM's. The Ford trigger is actually off. The trigger wheel is actually off of a Ford. At one time I was trying to run a Dodge Hall sensor, but I could never get that one to read properly. It's, you know, I can't say that it's because it was a Dodge product. But it was, you know, I got everything pretty much from salvage yards. You know, so you can go to your local pick and pulls and grab all this stuff, and it all works with DIY or this Megasquirt stuff. Back to the expansion board, and that's it. Get yourself a couple cables to plug in, and this thing will plug in here. So this obviously is going to probably sit on the outside of the computer box, and everything's going to run in and out of this. All right, got one more thing in here, and before I pull that out, I'm going to pull the ECU out of Simon here so we can compare them. I'll just show it to you anyways. Hold on. Is the new box. Now, since we got a couple extra boards on here, the MS3 does require a bigger box, and this comes with the face plates, and I'm hoping it's relatively the same size here and here as the width and length as the MS2, because I've already got holes in my floorboard drilled with little rubber shock mounts for the computer to sit on for vibration control and stuff, and screw in case. But I don't want to drill any more holes in the car if I don't have to. I've already drilled plenty of holes in Simon, and he's probably getting tired of it. But yeah, let's open this up, and then we'll compare it to the other ECU box. Let's start opening things up and see how it goes together. Unfortunately, DIY did not have the black cases, or black anodized cases. Cost and everything actually has gone up, so they would just kind of resorted back to these untouched aluminum cases, which is, to me is kind of disappointing. But apparently, people didn't want to pay the price for those newer anodized cases. That, and you know, with the logistics problems we're having these days, it was just hard to get them. So I got the silver one. But yep, there we go. Gotta figure out how this is gonna work. I think there's my lights. I got 3 lights on my old board. Hopefully they line up on there well. And then this is the other side, the vacuum port. It's what do they call this thing? It's a DB37. There'll be 2 of them. They'll be stacked on top of one another, and hopefully it won't interfere with the, oh no, the Bluetooth goes on the other side of the case, that's right. It's not going to interfere with that. And then we're going to have somehow this is going to fit on there too. So going to have to start doing a little squeezing. So let's go get the ECU out of Simon and take a look at it. All right, here's the old MS2, and of course got stickers on there, and got one more for the new case. Hopefully it shows up, because I like the black anodized case. It's just sharp looking. Looks like relatively it's going to be the same size once we get the side plates on. It should be good. Holes look like they're in the same spot too. Hopefully everything there lines up good. And this little antenna contraption is the Bluetooth adapter. Like I said, I can communicate with the computer or the tablet with Bluetooth. But yeah, that's got to come off before we open this up. But yeah, that's probably twice the width. Maybe not quite twice the width. Yeah, let's get this stuff out of here. I tell you, the Bluetooth was kind of a game changer with this whole fuel injection thing. You were able to, I think I probably showed you guys how I use a tablet. Tablet's kind of basically my dashboard. You get a tablet that's GPS capable, then you have a speedometer. And the speedometer comes in handy, because the one on it's actually in the car. Yes, Simon does have a speedometer, but since I put the smaller tires on there, it reads faster than what we're actually going. I've recently seen a couple other different Bluetooth adapters that people have been using. This one's been trouble-free. I actually got it, I think, from Analyst. People that I think of the people that wrote and designed the Tuner Studio. I figured just getting it from them would be the best, hassle-free. And this here is the adapter, because it's male to male. So this is the adapter, so it's male to female, so it works. Actually, I think it came with the purchase of the Bluetooth device. It's gone forever. Oh, I got it. The one video I did find on YouTube, guys are basically doing the same thing I'm doing. They did it very quickly. And they opted out of buying a box. And somehow they managed just to get these pieces. And they screwed these pieces on their old box, so then they had this big air gap. I don't know if that's good. I don't know how much money you save. I didn't know if you could buy just these two pieces here. I know that I didn't see it advertised. And I don't think the box costs all that much. I think it was $45. But you know, you got a lot of money invested in this, and to me it's best to have this well protected as you can. Alright, there's that. Now I think it's just a matter of figuring out which way it wants to slide off. And there's the inside of Simon's brains. A little run around. This is the board we're going to be changing out. That's the daughter board for the MS2. Carefully slide this off this way. Take a look on the bottom side of this. And we have the controller I set up for the boost controller. That was what I did last year. And then this year is the Map Daddy, the upgraded map sensor, so you can run boost. Or not run boost, so you can read boost higher. But that is the inside. And it smells like a computer. I guess that's a good thing. Alright, time to get this into there. Great. One thing I think about, I got some jumper wires here. Go over top of this board. I may have to be doing some resoldering here. Wasn't expecting to do that. I'm going to leave this on here because it looks like I need that for the height of this USB and the memory card can fit into its slot. But first I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my jumper wires here. I got enough slack in them. This one here is questionable. Uh-oh. I don't remember where that one went. Great. Now I got more soldering to do. I'm gonna say that went to spare 3. Well, I may need that third one. That's probably why they gave it to me. There we go. Everything looks like it lines up now. So yes, we had to use the one that came on the board, the one that came with the board, and then the one that soldered to the board. I had to use all 3 of them to stack up on there to give it the right height it needed. Now, get the soldering iron back out and see if I can get my jumper wires soldered on to spare number 3. Alright. Now that we got that soldered back on, let's move on with the procedure and see if we can figure out how this expansion card goes on. Obviously it goes on this side because that's what's left here. I gotta figure out how to plug this into there and this into there and to get this over here. Assuming that plugs into there. This must plug in here. I'm not quite sure which way that plugs in. It goes in hard both ways. Alright, so I plug this into there. And I'm hoping I got this plugged in. It makes sense to plug it in this way. And these are going to screw. I'm going to get the vacuum port in there, and that on there, and that on there. And that's how that's going to go. But first, I got to figure out how to slide it into the case. Now I can almost understand why those gentlemen skipped the case. This ain't the easiest thing to slide in here with this ribbon on here. All right. Let's see how he did. And I think that's going to work. Alright, one last little screw here for this. And then we got the bugger case screws to put on here. And I remember when I first put the black case together, it was a bugger. Threading in those new screws into those new holes, they aren't really cut for threads yet. You kind of thread them when you run the screw in. Alright, last step is stick these screws. Looks like they give you some extras. There's 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, I can't count. No, there's 8 of them in here, but you got to get them in this case. And like I said, this one was a bugger. Alright, what screwdriver works best for these? That's going to be your key to success. It's a good fitting screwdriver. Well, there it is, all buckled up. One last thing to do, and that's to put the sticker on. Those screws are a bugger. You just got to go slow and be patient. Try to keep as much pressure on them so you don't strip them. And once you... ceiling's falling in. Once you take them in and out a couple of times, they get easier, but the first one is definitely a bugger. Yes. There we go. The final step of the assembly process. The next two steps are scary. I mean, the first one is plugging it in and firing it up and hope you don't let the magic smoke out. And then the other thing is actually starting a whole new project, because since I'm going from the MS2 to the MS3, I cannot use the same project. I can, however, carry over the tune somehow. I did bring both my laptops down here. Got laptop 1, laptop 2. Basically, the smaller of the two laptops is the one I use to tune and run Simon on, but I do have a second project that I loaded on the other laptop just to make sure I've got a duplicate. And I will save the projects, and then I will save the tunes, and then we'll try to figure out how to create a new project. Before I do all that, I'm probably going to grab the old cell phone here and just photograph a bunch of the pages on the project I do have now, just so I can remember where everything's set, because the old brain up here doesn't remember everything, and there's a lot on there, and with the MS2 or MS3 there's about to be a lot more. So yeah, buckle up, sit back, and let's see if we can get this done. Alright guys, got the MS3 reinstalled back into Simon there. I haven't turned the key yet. Haven't got the courage yet. Right now what I've been doing is checking to make sure that the project I've had on Simon's computer was the same I had in the other computer here. And yeah, so far so good. It looked like everything was a good match, but I still went through and took pictures of everything, because when I go to start the new project, I kind of want to make sure a lot of my settings were the same. And one really, well, maybe it is in the ignition, there's one really important setting, and it's has something to do with the coils going high or going low. And if you don't got that set right, you'll burn your coils up. Yeah, I'm going to double check that really quick, and then get in here and start the new project. I already saved the tune. I can transfer from my understanding, I can migrate the tune over to the new project, but I don't think I can migrate the project into a project. And one key thing here, the reason I am able to do this, put the project on this computer and that computer over there, is because I have the Tuner Studio registered. And if you don't have that registered, you're unable to do this. So it's beneficial to register and pay the fee. I don't even know what it is these days. It was $100 or something. All right, yeah, I see I got it set for going high, and it's a rising edge. And like I said, this computer matched this computer, but what we're gonna do now is come in here and cross our fingers and create a new project. So let's get the smarticles back on, and we will create a new project. I can always go to, I know my car on this computer is Simon, and over here on this one is actually, I believe, labeled the date with Simon. So I think I can always go back to those if something goes wrong. My car, I think we're going to name this one Simon 2.0. I don't want to confuse it with my other one. Project directory, I guess that's where it's going to go. Detect firmware. Not quite sure what I need to do there yet. I guess we'll click on it and see what it wants. Wonder if I got to turn the key on. Wonder if it's looking for my computer. No controller found. Yep. Well, here's the moment of truth. Guess we gotta go turn the key on. I'm not seeing any lights on the controller, but I'm not seeing any smoke coming out of it either. No controller found. Check your connections and then Sure that your COM cord installed. Well, figure out what's going on here. All right, guys. Yeah, I think I got this figured out now. I actually got the computer hooked back up to the box, but I'm using this, well, it's basically a USB cord from a printer. That little port I was talking about earlier, if I wasn't sure if that was USB port or not, that's a USB port. I got to give Matt credit over at DIY for helping me out a little bit, answering some questions, but what I did wrong was you have to actually load some firmware into this box first before you can hook to it and start your project all up. And just kind of like I was afraid of, looks like I got to go and play with some of the tune on here. It didn't carry over. I'm going to go back in and see if I can get it to carry over, at least like the fuel tables and the ignition tables. And it looked like my VE table, my fuel table, was already set for a 16 by 16, but the ignition table wasn't. Updating to the MS3 gave me that option of having that finer 16 by 16 ignition table, which gives you more cells to kind of like fine tune, so you can or change your timing at different RPMs a little bit more. Gives you more of an option variety. Still got to get the Bluetooth thing working too. It doesn't seem, I got a light on there, and I haven't tried it again since I've actually got in here and was moving some stuff around. You do that again, you know, shut everything down and unplug it from the USB cable, and then try to see if it'll hook up through the Bluetooth. But yeah, like I said before, the software stuff has always got me scratching and pulling my hair out. But I got a couple more months to get this kind of figured out. And the nice thing, if you can see, I got the brain here. I've got the SIM card, which is a simulator tool, so I don't have to have it in the car. I can run it and go through some things in here. I can actually, I'll kind of show you. We'll get rid of this fuel table here, kind of the different things. Now I can come over here, and I got different options, and I can't see. Get these things back on. So I grab the right one. All right. So if we look over here at the coolant temperature, I can move the coolant little thing here, and it tells me that, you know, that circuit is working because it's going up and down and in the coolant. Whoa, too much. And then like the throttle positioning sensor, which will be this gauge here, I'll grab it and we can make that go like the throttle's going up and down. So it is communicating. I don't think I have, do I got an RPM? Oh, I do, yeah, I can make the RPMs go up. Shift Clint, home, shift, home. Bam, into the red. Which I might have to see if I could reset that gauge, because I'm going to be under red, because I should be shifting in between 6 and 7 thousandths. But yeah, anything else on there? Oh, the O2 sensor's got a little bit of play in it. I don't know why it only goes to 12. Yeah, but I think that's where I'm going to leave off today. Have any questions? Feel free to ask, and I'll try to answer. But yeah, all in all, it's a fun process. Of course, you know, you got your fails, and then when you do win, you can go woohoo. But yeah, as always, buckle up, sit back, and enjoy the ride. And always keep shifting those gears. We'll see ya.
I was just another guy